Hey guys, for this week's activity for states of consciousness, I did activity number 1, which was keeping track of your sleep habits for 5 days. So this was, it was an easy thing to do, but I am currently pregnant, so sleep is rough already. So this was not, it just definitely, you don't sleep as well when you're pregnant and you're always tired. So to take that into account, or I had to take that into account when I was noting how my sleeping was. So I started recording on Monday night. I went to bed at 9:30, and it's super frustrating because my husband falls asleep so quickly, but I don't fall asleep quick. So the last time I looked at the time, it was around 11. So I'm assuming I fell asleep around like 11:15. Like I said, I don't sleep that well, so I kind of tossed and turned. I do have to get up to go to the bathroom multiple times because pregnancy. And then I woke up at 8:30 the next morning to just my child. She screams and it wakes me up. When she wakes up, I wake up. So my energy level for the day wasn't that great. My mood was fine. I feel like I was pretty happy, but I was pretty tired by the end of the day. And then I feel like my lack of sleep doesn't affect my thinking too much. So that was Monday night. Tuesday night, I went to bed around 10, and I have a 3-year-old, and she had a super hard time going to bed that night, and we had to go in and help her with things multiple times. So I'm guessing I fell asleep around midnight. I don't really feel like certain nights I sleep better than others. I don't ever feel like I get a really good sleep just because I don't ever feel that great. I just feel like I kind of tossed and turned all night. And then I woke up at 8. So that was like 8 hours. I felt like my energy level was fine. But I did feel like I wasn't in that great of a mood all day, and I think I just didn't sleep that great that night. And then I did work that night, and I feel like my thinking wasn't super clear and focused for that day. Wednesday night, I went to bed around 9:30. I fell asleep pretty quick that night. And then woke up at 8 the next morning. I feel like I had better sleep that night, but still wasn't great sleep. Energy level was better. I felt like I was in a happier mood that day, probably because we got more sleep. And I feel like my thinking was pretty clear. Fine. For Thursday night, I went to bed around 10. I'm not sure what time I fell asleep that night. I did fall asleep pretty quick. Once again, I just tossed and turned, woke up a few times. My energy level for Friday was good. I felt like I was in a good mood. Towards the end of the day, I felt like I was a little irritated, and my thinking was fine, clear. And then for Friday night, we went to bed around 9:30, but we've been watching The Mandalorian, so we watched that, and we didn't fall asleep till probably around midnight. And then my daughter woke us up at 7:30 this morning. So, yeah, I feel like my energy level all day has been super low. I do feel like I'm in a fine mood, and my thinking is pretty clear. So I think that this was really interesting to track, like, how my mood was, if I was thinking clearly, and then I don't really pay much attention to, like, what time I go to bed and what time I actually fall asleep, or around what time I fall asleep. So that was interesting to kind of see that. I think that I probably could make some improvements. Like I said at the beginning, I am pregnant, so that's probably not going to improve for another like 7 months. But yeah, I just feel like I am always really low level energy, and sleeping just is never comfortable. I do think last night, Friday night, I did have a better sleep. I bought myself a pillow that's really nice. And I do feel like that helped my sleep. I feel like I got into kind of a deep sleep because Friday night's the only night that I remember that I had a dream. The others I don't really remember. But I do think an improvement for me that I can make is, like I said, on Friday night we stayed up and watched The Mandalorian. And a couple other nights I would like scroll on my phone or turn on a TV just to have on in the background. And I think that those things probably do affect your sleep, or at least how long it takes you to fall asleep. So I think if I could eliminate those things by like turning my phone off when I go to bed, maybe I'd fall asleep quicker, or eliminating like watching a show, because sometimes I get into them and I can't turn them off. So I think eliminating those things. Tuesday night, my child had a hard time going to bed, and you can't really do anything about that. Children are great most of the time. So that can't really be improved. But thankfully our child sleeps really well, so that doesn't happen very often. But yeah, I don't think there are too many things I can improve at the moment. When I'm not pregnant, I sleep way better. So yeah, that's something that will improve after this is over. So yeah, like I said, I thought this was really interesting to kind of see my habits, and see things that maybe I can improve and change. Maybe also just going to bed earlier. I feel like we do get in bed at a good time, but then we chat or, sit on our phones or whatever. So eliminating those things would probably be helpful. And then I do have a question for you guys, and that is, what are things that you guys do that you think affect how you sleep? Like for me, I told you about sitting on my phone or watching TV. So what are things that you guys can do, or things that you can eliminate that would help improve your sleep? Yeah, thank you.